Hi and hello Let's Play fans, it's your old pal Berg787 back with a brand new Let's Play series of Total War Warhammer 2 on Legendary difficulty. This series has been requested by viewer of the channel Katie, so for her we will be playing as the Sisters of Twilight, Heralds of Ariel, who are a pretty awesome faction, great addition to the game in my opinion. I don't think I'm alone in that train of thought, they're really fun, really good. So we're going to be playing them on Legendary difficulty. And we'll see how we get on. I haven't played them on Mortal Empires. This obviously is Mortal Empires. I have played them on the Vortex map. Obviously it's a little bit different on Mortal Empires just because, you know, the way the settlements and the way the lay of the land is slightly changed. So we'll see how that affects things. But on the Vortex map they were pretty straightforward and a good bit of fun to play. I'm sure that will carry over into Mortal Empires. Let's talk a little bit about the Heralds of Ariel as a faction. So they get the Forge of Death, which means basically we can craft and upgrade unique weapons, armour, items offered by the Master Smith Lord Death. You can get some pretty powerful items from that. You get them upgraded. There's some choices that you can make. We'll talk about that once we actually get into the game. But Forge of Death, pretty good. I know they patched it. I think there was some sort of bugs on release, which have been changed. So there you go. This is post-patch. So no bugs on that, apparently. Also, ammunition plus 10% for all armies. Obviously, as the sisters, here they are with their bows. Generally speaking, we will be running a lot of units that have ammo, that fire missiles, so that's pretty good for us. And they also have the ability Volley of Kurnos for Hawk Riders. That makes Hawk Riders awesome. Really does, especially when you fire this Volley of Kurnos into like an infantry blob or something like that. It's kind of like your Hawk Riders become like some sort of jet fighters firing cruise missiles. It's really, really powerful. You start off with one per Hawk Rider that you can use once per battle, but at some point, I can't remember exactly what level you need to get, but you can upgrade that, so each of your Hawk Riders have two. And when you fire a bunch of those in, man, units get destroyed. Let's put it that way. The sisters themselves, as Lord effects, they have a 15% missile unit upkeep reduction, which is good because we'll be running plenty of missile units. They also get melee attack plus 10 for flying units, which is good as well because we will be having plenty of flying units as well. And a 15% charge bonus for flying units, which is, okay, cool, whatever. They start off with these three units, additional starting units. A Great Eagle, which... underwhelming, if I'm being kind. It's not particularly great, but I mean we'll use it for the very early part of the game, but that's going to be disbanded, you know, as soon as we've basically got our stack up and running. We start off with a unit of Hawk Riders, and that will not be the only unit of Hawk Riders in our army. We will be getting plenty more once we can. And Great Stag Knights, which are pretty good. I mean, for shot cavalry, and quite heavy shot cavalry, I mean they hit hard, as you can see here. Charge bonus of 70, weapon strength 66 with armor piercing, speed 90. I mean a very, very unique unit. Little bit of a glass cannon, not the best armor, do have shields, but they're really there to charge, and when they hit very hard, especially against lower tier stuff. They're just going to, you know, absolutely obliterate that type of stuff, so we'll certainly be keeping them around for a while. Campaign itself, legendary, very hard. I've discussed this in the last couple of series, but I play with the Chaos Invasion off just because I don't like the way it's implemented. If you want more of my thoughts, go and watch other videos, especially the starting videos of the last couple of campaigns. I talk a little bit more about it in those. Race attributes, forest healing is the game mechanic now for the Wood Elves. They want to heal the forests where they start. We start in the Witchwood, so that's what we'll be doing. They have World Roots and Deep Roots. So World Roots is a mechanic where you can jump from different forests. So we're in the Witchwood, and then we could use the World Route to go to another forest. I think there's, I want to say 8 of them, maybe 9. I don't know the exact number on the Mortal Empires map, but either way you can jump there, and then there's like a cooldown period. I think it starts off 10 turns before you can then jump back. But with leveling up and technologies and stuff like that, you can get that down to like 5 turns, and I think maybe even less than that. And Deep Roots is just basically, you know, the equivalent of how beastmen, dwarves, you know, orcs can travel in the underpasses. A missile-focused elven unit roster with a variety of enchanted arrows and fast-moving cavalry. True. Alright, that's pretty much it for the intro, so let's start the campaign.
Greetings, sisters of Twilight, most esteemed emissaries of Queen Ariel. You are deep in the hostile lands of the Dookie, but the forest of the Witchwood provides you with sanctuary in this bleak realm. The weave here is dangerously out of balance, as is the case in many other forests of the world. Bring life back to these withering woodlands, then traverse the deep roots to seek out others who require healing in more distant lands. Every healed forest brings strength to Athel Loren and the world roots that reach out from the Oak of Ages. Thus, you flourishes so that it may continue to send its life force to the forests of the world. Oversee this new season of rebirth, twin champions of the Azrae. The lesser races pollute, defile, and wantonly take from the forests, causing an imbalance to the weave that must be righted. Punish them in Ariel's name, and return the forests to full splendor.
Amazeballs. I'm pretty sure I just saw a stack of beastmen up here. Anyway, that for an intro spans quite a bit of the map, and I think that must be the biggest spanning of the map for any faction intro that I can remember. Bits and pieces. Alright, so how they play Heralds of Ariel, or Ariel, maybe I should say. Forge of Death. The Sisters of Twilight have access to unique items and armaments crafted in the Forge of Death, this thingy up here. Most celebrated of elven smiths. Regularly gift special equipment to the Sisters throughout their campaign, whilst also offering his legendary smithing skills to improve his gift's powers. When approached in his temple forge, Dave will either indulge Maestra's obsession with perfectly honing her equipment by upgrading them for her, or accept Arahan's ardent insistence to carry newly forged equipment into battle. Cool. I think that's basically the choice that you get, whether you want to really soup up the item for 5 turns or have a slightly lesser buff, which is permanent. The World Roots and Magical Forest. The Oak of Ages life-giving World Roots have seeded a number of magical forests across the world, but over time interlopers and neglect have caused them to wither by performing various actions such as securing these little provinces that are around the heathland regions that border them. The Wood Elves can increase the health of the magical forest and perform rituals of rebirth there, thus permanently restoring their connection to the World Roots. All elf armies can use the World Root stance to travel short distances beneath otherwise impassable terrain. Doing so is not without risk, however, as they can be intercepted by armies above and brought to battle, even by races that cannot use the World Roots themselves. The Deep Roots, yada yada yada, we've discussed that, that's how we get from forest to forest. So I actually said that wrong in the intro, it's the other way around, the World Root and the Deep Root. And the Oak of Ages, all World Roots lead back to the Oak of Ages. By securing Athel Loren's borders and healing other magical forests, Wood Elves can rejuvenate the World Roots' life-giving powers. The ultimate goal of the Wood Elves' Mortal Empires campaign is to complete the ritual of rebirth in Athel Loren and defend the Oak. We also do have offices, which we'll have a look at in a sec, which we can assign different lords to. So chapter objectives. At the start of your turn, have 100 forest health in Athel Loren. The denizens of Athel Loren are forever linked to the weave of existence, the web of life and death that binds all living things. Where discord reigns, this weave thins, and the Asare diminish. And thus must the forest's protectors venture into the world, restoring nature's balance. Cool. Okie dokie. So we start off here in the Witchwood. There's another forest here in Gaen Vale. There's another one down in the Sacred Pools, Orion's Camp, Oak of Ages, Forest of Gloom, Griffinwood, Laurelorn Forest, and that seems to be that. Each of these forests give you a different bonus. As you can see, the more you heal, so this is our forest health here, and we can do things to affect that. The more we bump this up, the more benefits we get. So, for example, in the Witchwood, we start off with no bonus to research rate or forest healing, but obviously the more we get, the more research rate bonus we get, and the more points we get into forest health. Once we've done that, we can rebirth the forest, and then it lets us build a unique building. And then you can obviously jump over to other places, let's say the Oak of Ages, so there, growth in all provinces. This actually natural decline, so the higher up you get, the more naturally the forest stops healing, so you've got to do other stuff to counteract that balance. But you can see here, obviously, at the top level, Oak of Ages, growth in all provinces, upkeep, minus 20%, and cooldown for deep root teleportation, which is how you jump from place to place. And then over here, you know, yada yada yada. They've all got their own ones. Let's have a look at victory conditions. So we're going for the short campaign. At the start of your turn, have at least 500 forest health in Athel Loren, which obviously, as just discussed, is over here. And win the defense of the oak, complete the ritual of rebirth in Athel Loren. All we need to do, nothing else. Don't need to go anywhere else, just literally need to do that. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, we'll see how simple it is. We start off with the Sisters of Twilight. We'll talk about them in a second. And we do also have a Beasts spell singer, which I think you always start off with a Beast spell singer. Not the best of the three. You can get Beasts, Life, and Shadows. Probably Life is the best way to go, but we're not going to be getting this building anytime soon. So I don't mind just using the Beast one, should be fine. We also do want to get a Glade Captain. We don't actually really want anything from this building chain, but we do need to build that because we do want a Glade Captain, basically just to increase mobility. We want to be as mobile as possible, because mobility equals good. That's my professional opinion on the matter. Don't really care too much about a Waystalker. I mean, maybe if we stumble upon one, we'll grab one, maybe. Don't know. Probably use it just to scout the map more than anything. But Glade Captain, yes, definitely. We do, once I believe we heal up the forest, we do get Ariel, who is kind of like Lord Croak light, in a way, who we can embed into our army, which is good. We could get a Branch Wraith as well, just to replenish troops. That's always quite nice. Probably will want one of those. But really, our army's going to be mainly sort of Way Watchers and these Hawk Riders, that's for sure. Certainly want them. And we'll probably mix in a couple of Forest Dragons. Tree Men may be slightly better, but since we get bonuses to flying units, Forest Dragons probably the way to go. In terms of buildings, certain buildings take growth, not the main building. This doesn't take any growth, so it's kind of a reverse to what normal factions go by. Our main building chain doesn't need growth, but all these other buildings do. This does take quite a while to grow, though. As you can see, 14 turns it takes for the top level to build, so it's quite a wait. So you've got to kind of manage what buildings you want, because you can't just keep spamming these. These are really good. So we start off with a Trapper's Den, which I would have built anyway if we didn't have one. It gives us 300 income, gives us some furs, gives us some growth, and some replenishment rate. It's probably the best of the three. So you want to always look to build that first if you don't have it. We are also going to want to build a Grapevine. I'd go with that over the Craftsman Tree, even though the Craftsman's Tree does give a bit more growth, especially to all provinces. But since we've only got one province, not as important. It does give some money, but I would prefer that bigger boost to money straight away. Obviously I want all three of these buildings, but I think the next one I will build is this one. We are, as mentioned, going to keep this building just to get the Glade Captain, then we'll demolish it, and we're going to look to get the Sacred Ground of Anath Rayma. So this will allow us to recruit Hawk Riders. It also gives us plus 5% missile strength to all missile units, which is really good for all armies. And it lets us get Lords and Hero recruit rank plus 3 for Lord of Beast Casters, which Sweet. Once we've healed the forest, we can build the Temple of Anathrema, which gives us a bunch of immunities to attrition, gives us an extra 5% to bring it up to 10% for missile strength, and I think bumps up the garrison slightly. Gives us a dragon, 2 dryads and 2 hawk riders, as opposed to 1 hawk rider, 2 dryads and a great eagle. So yeah, it does bump up the garrison. Let's just come out of this. We'll go and talk about the Sisters of Twilight. So their traits, as we've already discussed, Dusk and Dawn. Which one is Dusk, which one is Dawn, I don't know. I don't know which one's which as well. But I'm going to presume that Dusk is the brunette over here. Well, it's not really brunette as it's black hair, and Dawn is the blondie. Skills. So they have a quest for Sethin Ha. Forest dragons are not known for their recklessness, but they're venturesome. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sethin Ha. It's a true reflections of the sisters' combative aspect. So basically, you can, once you get him, you can ride him, or you can summon him into a fight and stay flying on your whatever it is that we're flying on, some sort of eagle, I'm presuming. Personally, I prefer to stay on the eagle, because the idea of the dragon is that you're going to be fighting with the dragon, right? And the Sisters of Twilight are too powerful to waste fighting in melee. They really are. You want to be shooting. So it's better to summon the dragon, fly on whatever they're flying on, rather than the other way around, my personal opinion. You can get this skill, Challenge to Daith, available at rank 10. Turn time between each of Daith's gifts received is -2, and the Forge of Daith, a reforge duration, +2. So basically just means you can use the Forge of Daith more often and it becomes a bit more powerful. Rain of Spines, reload reduction time +12% for Lord's Army, really good. Speed of the Hunter, 6% increase for all Elven units. Yeah, so it's a bit of extra speed. I mean, I don't know when we'll actually take this. We won't be taking it at rank 10 because there's a lot of other stuff we want to get, but that's still good. Howl of the Forest. I mean, it is quite a nice little perk, but not particularly for the way we're going to be using the army. Sight Beyond Sight. Again, because it affects such a small range, it's not quite as great, but we will certainly want to use it. And Possessed by the Trickster God. Again, nice, but we're not going to be getting into too many. Well, if we're fighting close combat, we've done something wrong with the way our army is going to be put together. So this might be beneficial later when we've got some dragons in our army and we can buff their melee defense. But anyway, specific skills: Inserverable, 10% ward save, and a wound recovery time of -3. Very nice. The Queen's Emissary, public order, growth in local province, and more importantly, really, I would say, a diplomatic buff to relations with Dark Elves, High Elves, and Wood Elves. Always want to keep all of the elves on side unless you really have to, especially the major factions. Don't really want to be fighting any of those. Maestra's Vigilance. This is really nice. Campaign movement, line of sight, and replenishment rate up by 10, 15, and 10% respectively. And we also get this passive ability Guardian, which for any units that are lords or heroes in our army, if we're there within 30 metres of the sisters, they get a 15% physical resistance, which cool, but kind of hard to micromanage. Even if you didn't have that passive ability Guardian, that would be a pretty good skill to take. Arahan's Reckoning. We get +1 to additional forest health for winning battles in magical forests or the Heathlands, which is a bit situational, but good, since we're not going to be venturing forth from our lands too much. Ambush success chance +10%, which is good. You want to, ambushes are handy with Wood Elves, because you get a lot of buffs if you get into ambushes, which I will discuss in a bit. And income from raising and post-battle loot increased as well. And finally, of these four, Masters of Ares, 10% physical resistance for all flying units, super good in the Lord's Army. -10% upkeep for flying units, super good. And Vanguard deployment for Great Eagles, meh. Forest Dragons, good. And finally, Otherworldly of Spirits. And once you've spent 2 points in any of these, but I mean, arguably you kind of want all of them, but once you've spent 2 points, you can jump into Otherworldly Spirit. 5% ward save for Lord's Army, awesome. That's where you get the upgrade to Volley of Kurnos. So you get 2 of them instead of the 1 for all your Hawk Riders, amazing. And ability number of uses +1 for all Dragon Breath attacks with your dragons, really, really good. That's how you want to make a flavor lord. This is the type of stuff. Buff those units that you want them to use. Make them really good. This is kind of all standard stuff, right? Nothing particularly that interesting here. This will be the last thing we buff. Although we will certainly want to increase this and give her more ammo and fire more often. That's quite good as well. But when we get to it, I don't know. We need to select 5 points over here, so it would be what? 2. Speed's interesting. Certainly these two, and then I don't know. I'll think about what other ones I want to give. Would like that though. Down here, this is kind of annoying. I don't know if this is a mistake or not, because this is what it was like on Warhammer 1, and it kept it in Warhammer 2 for all Wood Elf factions, but they seem to be the only ones who need 5 points from here to get to this middle bit on the blue skill tree to get to Lightning Strike. So, not sure if it's an error, or whether they've deliberately just kept it at 5, but it's kind of annoying. And it's 5 as well to get to Home Amongst Boughs as well, which is quite annoying. So it's an extra 2 skill points that you've got to, I don't want to say waste, but you've got to spend down here, which, considering they do have quite a lot of good skills to get, is quite annoying. But anyway, let us do something very quickly. In honour of the person who has requested this series, we will rename our spell singer of the beasts, Katie. There you go, Katie. I'm not sure if you've ever had green hair before, but maybe try it. What else are we going to look at? Offices. So we start off here, which gives us +3 recruit rank for Spellweavers in all provinces. We are the Heralds of Ariel. You got the Queen's Champion. Campaign movement range income from raising settlements. Okay, cool. You do need to be... I'm not sure for this one actually. You can put anyone in here, but for these officers, I think they do need to be of these spells, schools, laws, whatever they call them. The law of. Does that make sense? So here, Darkweaver is the character, the title Darkweaver. That's pretty good. Faction magic, Winds of Magic for all armies, +15, which is pretty good. Weapon strength +10% for Lord's army, and you get to use the power of darkness 2 more times. Cooldown for Loic's blessing ability for Stork for war dancers and blade singers. Meh, not particularly great. Beastbinder of Kurnos. Base weapon damage +100 when mounted on Elven Steed, Great Stag, Unicorn or Great Eagle. So if your Lord is mounted, it gives them more base weapon damage, which is quite nice. But other than that, not particularly exciting. Tree Singer of Isha. Gives them regeneration but a bit of weakness to fire. Treeman, alright for Dryad, Treekin and Treeman units, so that's not bad, that's alright. I mean, the weakness to fire, they're already a bit weak to fire anyway. But that's pretty good for a Treeman Lord. And Highweaver, Lord's army, 10% Lord save, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. But anyway, we'll fill these out when we can. Is there anything else to discuss? I'm not sure, I don't think there is. Alright, let's hit up diplomacy. So, we certainly want to keep on good terms with Marathi. Do not want to be dicking around with her.
Walks. You try my patience. Gladly.
Okay. We start off at war with the Ripperhorn tribe, who I do believe I did see up there at the beginning of the video.
Lord of Fear.
And the Bleak Holds, who we are going to pound into submission fairly quickly, hopefully. We'll see what we do with them. I'm pretty sure we can get a trade agreement with them once we take this settlement, so we'll look to do that. In terms of the Witchwood, we will increase that. As I said, we're going to keep this, so once it gets to level 2, we can get this up to level 2 and get our Glade Captain. Don't think we've got quite enough money for the grapevines, so we'll have to hold off, but we do want the grapevines.
Ariel sees.
Just drop them in there.
Great things.
We'll fight this
This
manual.
is the life.
Take minimal losses. Okay.
My bow hungers!
Wild Riders!
Spell singer!
It's annoying that spell singers don't start off with Flock of Doom like regular Lore of Beast mages. But hey ho.
Deepwood Mage!
Eternal Guard!
Weaver!
Wild Riders! Eternal Guard!
Alright, let's have a little look at our units before we fight. So here are our spear dudes, looking pretty snazzy. They look like they've got more armour on than they're given credit for. Their shields are pretty big as well. Here are Deepwood Scouts, who are all very blonde. Look at that guy with his little weird thing on his head. Some more scouts over there. The sisters, they are on... It is an eagle, right? With some mean-looking helmet. No seats on that, just riding bareback, it seems. Here is our eagle over here. You won't be in there for too long. Our spell singer, looking very Dragon Ball Z-esque hair. Also, those toes are going to get pretty cold in the snow. And finally, let's just zoom over to our Hawk Riders, looking like badasses. And these stags just look great. They're so big as well, that's the thing. I mean, like, I don't think you quite notice how big they are. You'll see once we charge into something. They're really ginormous. Anyway, enough procrastinating. Let's get it on. We will use the Talon of Dusk rather than the Talon of Dawn because we want to mess up infantry. And away we go.
With me, sister!
Charge! Understood. Like the wind.
Look at that, nuclear missiles already.
Now. For Athel Lauren. Orders acknowledged. Incoming!
Too strong.
Wild Riders.
Alright, we're just going to get these units to sort of chase us, annoy them, while our other units fire on them. If we get a nice opportunity for a decent charge, we will use it.
Attack!
Might have one here. Look how giant these stags are, though. So big.
With haste. It is done. Swiftly.
Let's pull out of there. We don't want to get too much friendly fire.
Harmony! Warfare!
Sound the horns. Ride them down.
Guardian!
Come on, firing on them.
Riders, attack.
These guys are going down.
Battle ready!
Orders received. Swift. Cavalry. Wild Riders.
Probably get a hawk in just to
Go.
help out chasing these guys down.
Okay.
Absolutely ragdolled.
Riders.
Let's bring you guys down a little bit. They can fire whilst moving, I believe, Deepwood Scouts. Or Glade Guard, rather, I should say. Alright. Nice and easy. Right.
They cannot remain a threat.
We will seek
occupy.
bloody
Blessed by the
vengeance.
seasons.
We've been giving a shield. We will be getting a better one pretty soon, I think next turn. Okay, got a follower. Ever-reaching tendrils, aka Root Marcher. I mean, you can keep that, but that's going to be swapped out because I think the armour that we get on the next turn is going to be much better. Scouting, normally I wouldn't mind popping a point into scouting straight away just to increase the chance of getting magical items, but not super necessary here because we're going to get a bunch next turn anyway. So we will increase this to get to Flock of Doom. Flock of Doom is going to be pretty nice early doors for us, to say the least. Over here you don't have too many options with these outposts. We will repair this, and we will stick in, I believe we'll just go straight up for this. So there's different options. I think this one's slightly better just because it doesn't let you recruit from there, but gives you 20% of growth in all adjacent provinces, and it reduces the cost of buildings in adjacent provinces as well. I don't mind having one of these, but I'm going to build that somewhere down here, just so I can recruit over here. But for now, let's just get this in. This, and if you're specifically going to be raising a lot of settlements near to that one, I suppose it would be alright. And this bit, sort of, mini growth. But all provinces, I think that's across the whole world. Occasionally make your permanent instrument rate for local armies. Just got to be this. We can't afford, even if we hadn't repaired or built any of that, we can't afford to build this yet. So we are going to save some cash. We can't recruit anyone. Well, we can, but in global recruitment, and we don't want any of that. Research, that was one thing we forgot to talk about. So we start off over here, which gives us a bit more line of sight, well, a fair bit more, 25%, and some public order. We're going to sort of focus on this side of the research tree rather than the top side. It's better buffs for us down here. We'll come to those in a sec. Some of these over here, you need amber for these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 technologies, and they are really good. They are really good. This, if you're playing as Draker, is an unreal ability. And reload reduction time doesn't matter, but giving Ubery infusions to all Dryads, Treekin, and Treemen, so good. That's just so good. But that's not even the best one. I mean, is it this one? Hold on, can you even get it with these guys? I'm sure there's one here that gives, like, with Draker you can get, like, forest, spirits of the forest or something like that they're called, and I'm sure there's one of these that gives massive buffs to those as well. I might be wrong. But anyway, this is really good. We'll want that. 35% ammunition for all armies and diplomatic relations with all factions plus 10 is pretty sweet. We're not really going to be running Treemen or Treekin in our armies, in this army anyway, so no rush for this or that. Although the construction time for all buildings is pretty good, because as you've seen, some of these buildings do take a while to build as wood elves. Certainly these are better if you're playing as Draker, I think. But hey ho, there's still a couple of good ones in there for us. So we're going to be going this, and then down to this because we have to go this, but gaining additional forest health for winning battles in our homelands is pretty good. And then we're going to want to get this missile strength plus 10% for all missile units. Pretty sweet. Cooldown to Lure of the Beast spells actually is kind of like a nice extra bonus, just because we do have a Lure of the Beast spell singer that we're keeping, Katie. Bonus versus large doesn't really matter too much. That speed's pretty good. Physical resistance for all elf infantry units, pretty decent. That'll be good once upon a time, or at some stage once we get forest dragons. So that's kind of what we're going to go early doors. We might want to jump up this way though, just to grab a couple of these. That's pretty good as well, actually, that extra movement range. Grapevine building. There's a few decent skills, but we definitely want to come down to get this first, whatever happens. Can we trade with you now?
You are wise indeed to approach me. Maybe a deal can be broken.
Wow. What about now? What about now? It's a lot of stuff I'm giving you. Yeah, it's alright. I mean, we'll do that. And it's nice to have access to be able to walk into their lands as well.
Very wise.
But we could trade with... Well, they probably won't want it,
Your
but let's
flesh
have a
will
look.
roast if I'm not
Oh,
satisfied.
maybe they will. A bit of extra cash.
Definitely not.
Not quite. Alright. 36 minutes in. Turn 1 ended. Let's go.
The Sisters of Twilight.
Alright, we could build this building this next turn, but
Itching for fresh
I
battle.
need more troops, so we're not. Alright, that's deteriorated, so then if they said no last turn, they're not going to say yes this turn to a trade agreement. See, the first turn might have taken us 36 minutes into the video, but turn 2, 37 minutes into the video, so that's, you know, an average of what? 17, 18 minutes per turn. Okay, so now we're getting our weapons, alright, so these are the unique gifts from Dave, which are all pretty good. So we get this, that's awesome for the Sisters of Twilight, plus 15% missile strength and plus 10% range. Super duper good. This weapon's strange ethereal carvings betoken a power that can grant instinctive awareness of the lay of the land and the battlefield. This, more movement range, always good. Local growth, nice. Speed for them in general, nice. The evasion when using world routes is one of those things where I don't even factor that in, but you know, if it actually helps me at some stage, brilliant. This is pretty good as well. More hit points, more physical resistance. And weakness to fire damage for all enemy units. Nice. This, yeah, whatever. The Twilight Horn's not particularly impressive. Bit more public order, less leadership, which is quite nice for enemies that you're fighting. The Twilight Horn itself, bit fiddly to actually use, but hey ho. I'm not going to say no to a free item, right?
When do we fight?
Only when necessary.
So we do actually have to equip these as well, so don't ever forget not to equip them. So I'll bang all of those in. You can get that.
Bliss, bloodshed.
Still just short. We're going to rock up to the border here, just so we can recruit one more turn, and we can't actually reach Hag Hall. Reason why I've gone for Hag Hall, by the way, over Val's Anvil, is that I kind of think I might use Val's Anvil as a bit of a sack city. Possibly. And this is like the settlement, the provincial capital, so there's going to be walls and whatnot, which makes it not a great target as a sack city.
Twin defenders of the glades.
Oh. These horses are quite annoying, I'm not going to lie. But I think we should be fine.
Fight for the forest.
And it's one of those, like, what benefit do we get out of retreating? Because if we run off, we won't have recruited those 3 units that we were recruiting, and they'll still be annoying. So it's like, well, might as well take them on. I think up here is probably a good shout. I am very aware of all of those stupid horses with Reaper bolt throws, and they are quicker than our monstrous cavalry, so kind of got to stick them there. I'm not particularly excited about you guys as well being out in the open. I might actually sort of keep you over here. So if they do come at... The idea is those horses come over this way so we can shoot them, and the infantry... The archers will take care of the horses. The sisters will take care of the infantry.
Ariel, expect!
Hunters!
And we might just YOLO in the Great Eagle. Okay.
Sisters of Twilight! Duty observed! I'll enjoy this! The season of war! Child's play!
The only thing that's a bit annoying about the sisters is that they won't always fire at what you want them to fire at. Alright, if you can just chase those Dark Riders off, that'll do me. Just so I've got less of them to deal with here. And I literally do not give two hoots about what happens to those Great Eagles.
Bloody battle!
Like the wind! With haste!
Mage! As you say.
Yes. Big shots in there. Alright, pretty decent. I need you to attack those. I need to get rid of the Dark Riders because they're the more annoying of everyone. You guys need to just hold the line, because once these guys are out of commission, I can bring my Great Stags in.
War is tragedy!
Deepwood archers! Kill them! Glade Captain! Steady! Swiftly!
Sisters of Twilight!
Armed and ready! Glade Captain! Lauren!
I actually think I can probably bring them in now anyway.
Yours to command!
Riders of Lauren!
Alright, this is all going pretty well.
Our bows are yours! To the fray! Lauren! Riders to battle! Attack!
My bow hungers!
Wild riders! They will die! Your command! From Lauren! Ride them down!
That eagle, well, it tied up one unit, and that's all I really wanted. Is that a nice massive rear charge in here? Slightly get wrecked up ourselves as well, but it's fine.
Glade Guard!
You two can probably drop back a little bit.
Charge! Your orders!
And a charge in here.
Our bows are yours! End them! End them!
Alright, we got them.
Nestra and Arahan!
Alright, they have 2 volleys of this, sorry. For some reason I thought they start with 1 and you get them up to 2, but they actually start with 2 and you can get them to 3, which is quite nice. As this is a field battle, let's run down as much as we can. Alright, they got pretty wrecked. Taste my bow. Yeah, whatever. You can just go. Don't think it was that close. To be fair, but yeah, it was important to get rid of those, or to deplete them as best as we could, because then we could get our great stags involved. As if you just run the great stags in when they can see them, you can't catch them with the great stags, and then these guys just really muller up your great stags. So it's better just to let them hold the line. They can hold it good enough. Pepper the infantry with your Hawk Riders and the sisters.
Harmony must be imposed. Strength in mercy.
It's a tough one.
This is the price you pay.
I think I'm going to take the cash, just because I need cash.
Accept Ariel's will.
To be fair, everything I'll need for the next fight is pretty healthy anyway.
The price you pay.
And plus we get that physical resistance as well, which is quite nice. Alright, so the Forge is now active. Following your previous foray into battle, you have received word from Lord Dafe that the Forge fires are now lit and ready. The Old Master is now ready to lend his unrivaled smithing skills to your great cause. Alright, so if we hit this, it should give us an option. Well, it will randomly choose one of our items that we have, and it will give it a buff. Okay, so Lord Dave sends word that due to a sudden increase in the winds blowing above Val's anvil, he is able to either refine your dreaming boots to permanently increase their power, or reforge them to temporarily grant them even greater power. The doting old smith requests that one sister enters the temple to pay respect to him. He knows that you, Araham, will be happy to receive a newly forged item to serve your belligerent ways, but equally welcomes Naestra's company. Blah blah blah. Okay, so we can either have our refined the dreaming boots become refined, which increases the campaign movement range growth. Doesn't increase the speed, but I think it does increase the chance of evasion in the world routes. Or we can get like an even beastlier version, but it only lasts for 5 turns, and then I believe that they go back to the level that they're at now. Does that make sense? So I'm just going to take I'm going to take the permanent increase that's smaller than the big boost.
It is all I have longed for. I want one too.
Right, so we got those extra 3 units. Over here we shall. I think since we're about to hit a settlement, probably going to take that. I'll grab you some Flock of Doom, because we'll use that in the next fight as well. And off we pop.
There will be blood.
Now we don't have a siege attacker trait on any of our units, so we are actually just going to have to wait a turn to build this battering ram. Maybe they'll sally forth. What does the actual settlement look like? Ah, it's one of these. Okay, so this should be fairly straightforward. I actually hope they don't sally forth, but if they do, it's fine. We can still take them down.
Battle, a regrettable necessity.
We do have a fair bit of cash now, so we can finally build the grapevines to have even more money. That basically doubles our income. which is pretty good. And I don't think there's anything else left for us to do this turn, so bang.
We grant you an audience.
Did not even think to have a look at these guys. Alright, yeah, why not? Okay.
Highborn, we will see our homeland persist through all the coming ages of the world. Ludicrous.
Fair enough. I didn't think that they would agree to that.
Their threat.
Sorry, pardon me. Alright, so we need this Elenil's Elenil, Lord of Destruction. So we can get this.
Their
Meanwhile,
disharmony ends. We fight for the forest.
some real contrast to the sort of dark purpley colours of the Dark Elves and the green forestiness of the forest. Okay. You guys are going to come up over here. This chimney over here is a bit annoying, but never mind. You do not need that. I suppose we could use you guys just to get shot. Who cares? You're not really in my long-term plans. Although you did, I suppose, fill a role in that first fight? No, in the second fight that we had, so maybe I shouldn't be so dismissive of you.
Armed and ready!
Fear everywhere.
Okay.
Awaiting orders!
Seizing the position, if I must.
Alright, you ladies need to tank some...
Riders of Apple
well, they're not actually there. Can you actually shoot? I didn't realise. Can you shoot towers? No, you can't. That's why it's... Or can you? I don't know why it says I can shoot it, but I don't need to shoot it anyway, it's fine.
Glade Guard! Orders understood!
Sisters of Twilight.
Can you move forward? I want you to tank some of this damage.
We grow restless!
Harmony warfare. Ariel expect. Fear the deep wood.
Let's bring Katie up.
Orders understood! Glade Guard! Dauntless Azrael! It will be done!
Sisters of Twilight. Season of wrath.
Kind of want them a bit bunched up before doing that.
Glade Guard!
Okay, so far so good. You know, for someone who, like, well, I say fly, floats, you don't have to move slowly.
The forest calls. I will. Spell slinger.
Oh, I actually could have done it. Right? There we go.
Your command! Forever loyal!
Meanwhile, let's get you guys up here. suppose it's probably too late now, but like I think as they're passing through here, they might activate it. So if we get our guards up on our spearmen up on there, at least we're not going to get shot at.
Glade Guard! Will obey! Hurry!
Ever ready.
War is tragedy.
Asray Mage.
Dawn and
I
death.
actually realised that the sisters have taken a bit of damage.
Keep word, cavalry!
Sisters of Twilight.
Ready to serve. Of course.
Awaiting
Actually-
orders! Hurry!
Better cancel that spell.
We stand ready!
Alright, fly on them.
The season
Fire on them.
of war. Nature calls
Actually,
us.
tell a lie, fire on these guys.
Taste my war.
Glade Guard!
Stop firing at will.
Children of Athelloren!
Sisters of Twilight.
Hunters! At speed! Go! At once!
Deepwood Mage. As you say.
Hand of the forest.
Is it this prick who's like shot her up to bits? Seems
With
like
me,
it.
sister. They must fall. Hunting my foes.
Your orders!
My bow hungers.
Whoa! Relax.
Asray Riders! Vicanas! To war! Eternal Guard!
Oh no, my eagle died. Oh.
Ever ready!
Sisters of Twilight.
Yours to command.
For the eternal hell!
Sisters of Twilight.
Cavalry!
Alright, is the gate ours?
Never miss!
It is.
Glade Guard! Armed and ready! We understand! Now!
No.
Forest wills it! Eternal Guard!
Sent by Orion.
Windweaver.
Seems desperate to want to climb up the walls for some reason.
Awaiting orders! At pace! Bows of Athelloren!
Alright, there we go. Got 'em
Deepwood
there.
infantry!
Maybe you can only have 3 going through the gate at a time or something
Eternal
like that.
realm!
Battle ready.
Steady! Kill them! This instant!
Awaiting orders.
Okay, we're almost there.
Orders understood. By Equa.
Yeah, that's it. Sweet.
Upon us.
We did lose the eagle, but who cares? Saves us some money.
Root and
Occupy, because it's in our heathland, including the Plain of Spiders. So basically, that's something I didn't touch on as well. Around your wood, it sounds a bit weird, but around, so the Witchwood, there's a bunch of provinces, or settlements rather, that are around there. So it's Vol's Anvil, Hag Hall, Ice Rock Gorge, Plain of Spiders, and the Temple of Adioth. If they are neutral to you, they neither increase the wood's health or decrease the wood's health. Does that make sense? So Plain of Spiders, owned by these chappies over here, the Exiles of Nehek, they're not affecting our wood because we're on decent terms with them. Keeps affecting our wood. Sorry, my dirty mind. Vol's Anvil, on the other hand, because we're at war with them, this is negatively affecting the growth in our woodland area. So, anyway, we've got 3 of these settlements now in our favour. 1 is at war with, and 1 is neutral, which means we get a total of +2 growth, which is this stuff here. So you obviously want these to be giving you growth, because the more growth you get, the more bonuses you get, the more you can do stuff, build buildings, win the game, yada yada yada.
Serene Nestor, tempestuous
Over here, let's do this, because on the next level we get some bonus to missile strength as well when ambushing. Sisters, Wood Elves get really low, only have to be really low movement range to actually jump into an ambush. When we're out here we can show. So yeah, they only need 10% of their movement range left to jump into an ambush, which is by far the lowest of any faction. So you can certainly get into decent positions with them to ambush people. Over here we'll pump in Wild Heart, just because Flocker do. I mean, the extended version is nice just because you can cast it further away. It means we don't have to wait to get in position, but it does cost a bit more though, doesn't it? Wild Heart gives us, recharges our power every time we cast, which is nice.
The Sisters of Twilight.
We could build this, but we're not really going to be running much cavalry, and it only generates 50 income. It's just not worth it. This is just so much better. We're going to do it here just so we don't have to return to the Witchwood to recruit more of our Glade Guard. Pair that and bang that in there. And then next turn we will wander off
as one
and go and smash up Vol's Anvil. We are going to have a rebellion here, but it's not the end of the world. We can deal with it pretty easily. It'd be more annoying to have a rebellion over here, which means we have to travel back over there. One thing I just want to quickly do. There we go. So we'll walk up to there.
waste my time.
Or shall we just attack it? Yeah, because it just means they'll recruit some more units, so let's just attack.
Open them up!
Okay. I'm not particularly
Harmony
worried.
shall reign.
They don't have any of those annoying horses with bolt throwers, so this should be pretty straightforward.
Glade Guard!
These spearmen,
Ever ready!
basically like cheerleaders. Don't really do much. Well, that's a little bit harsh. They've they've had some use.
Ever ready! Wild riders!
Yours to command.
Okay, let's
Hand of the forest!
go.
Swiftly! Wild riders! Cavalry! Like the wind! As you say!
Hopefully that bunches up a little bit so we get some real nice. Not bad. Could have been better. Alright, I don't want you one-on-oneing that those archers because you'll just lose.
Restless! Wild riders! Ever ready!
Oh, we don't want to charge into spears either.
Sisters of Twilight!
Wild riders! Attack!
You are going to get shot a little bit in the back here, but it's fine.
Ready to start.
Come on, where's that flock of doom?
Eternal God!
Might have to get into position to intercept here if we're not careful.
Arahan and Nestra!
Eternal God!
Erase them!
Eternal God! Defenders of Athalloran! For Eldrazor!
Alright, now you hassle them over there.
With haste!
You don't need to chase them around.
Sisters of Twilight!
Hunters! Deepwood host!
Oh,
Glade Guard!
didn't realise I had you guys chasing after people.
Charge!
Alright, let's get a nice little charge on here. Mullerinoed.
Let's hunt!
Probably a bit of friendly fire there as well, but it's all fine. Do you think they deliberately made her look like Evangeline Lilly from like the Lord of the Ring, from the Hobbit movies?
Seize and smile upon us. They cannot remain a threat.
Alright, so the Forge of Dave is active again. We'll go and see what we get this time. Are they not destroyed? Obviously not. Well, right, they're down here. Oh, okay. We can use that as a sax element. And have we encountered the Forge Bound? Hello, my Dark Elf friends.
I find you tiresome.
No? Okay. Never mind. Yeah, that is pretty good. As I said, I don't want to be fighting any Dark Elves, although that is quite far down the line, that. Alright. All fine. We are going to have a rebellion over here. They're going to raise that or conquer it, one of the two, so we'll have to come back and take it, but, yeah, no problems. We'll stick that in there. Kind of no point recruiting more, because as I said, this...
So impatient.
this build, this is going to get blown up next turn, or at least taken over rather. So
Sisters ready.
we'll leave that as it is. Could do that, get a bit of extra growth, although we're not in a province that needs growth because we're in our outposts, so a little bit wasted. Let's take that. We are going to be doing quite a bit of sacking and raising and whatnot when we go down to fight their last settlement. Upgrade that Flock of Doom. Imminent Rebellion, yes we know. End turn. Oh crap, I forgot to use the Forger Dave. Right, never mind. It's not the end of the world. I'll use it next turn. It's not as if it runs out. If these Dryads weren't so beat up, this isn't impossible, this fight. It genuinely isn't impossible. However, there's not really much of a bonus to winning this fight with our garrison, because if we destroyed them, then it's less experience for the sisters. So I'd rather they just come down here and smash this up.
Craving prey.
Hope and feel bad.
I refuse doom. Make these fools cower.
Chittering in the Deep forest encounters. So these are a mechanic for the Wood Elves. You get these random encounters. You can see it flashing here, where an army is mustering that is harassing our forest. But anyway, a verminous horde of Skaven has started emerging from the ground at the edge of the forest. Their specific purpose is unclear, but their squalid parasitic ways are more than just an affront to the weave. The skittering ratmen and their twisted creatures of the foul ranks are abominations of nature and represent everything you stand against. More of them are still emerging, but by preemptively attacking, you can prevent them reaching their full strength. So yeah, the longer you wait, if you just wait forever, well, I say forever, maybe like 3-4 turns, then an army properly does spawn here and can move around. But if you get them within those 3-4 turns, wherever long it is, in theory, the quicker you get there, the weaker that army should be. That's okay. Cool. That's okay as well, although not as important for you since you don't have a ranged weapon.
Twin defenders of the glades.
Flock of Doom.
Serene Nestra. Tempestuous Arahan.
We're going to have another rebellion here. We should go and occupy Ice Rock Gorge and then come and smash Bleakhold's Fall. We can't recruit this turn either, can we?
Itching for fresh battle.
No. Alright, never mind.
Apple Lauren bids you greetings.
Nope. I'm happy to trade with you and whatnot, but I'm not getting a defensive alliance with you. Especially considering a lot of people like to attack. Are you just declaring war? Are you just coming straight at me? That's interesting. Wasn't expecting that. We'll fight this manually because I would like to get 2 fights out of this. 2 fights, better than 1. Double the experience. Thankfully they've only got 1 of these arseholes. You know what? They attacked me, right? So they've got to come for me. So why don't I just set up like this? Don't have to worry about their horsemen or anything like that. would like to stick you somewhere unseen, just for the beginning part of the fight, although I don't think this will remain unseen, but we'll see. I'd imagine they'll pass by. Let's keep you back here as well.
Hand of the forest! As rain mage. Orders understood. Taste my bow!
They're a bit split. That just looks a bit weird. Let's get you back down over here as well. Not using the infantry fire because we're firing at horses, so in theory the Talon of Dawn should be better. Bonus versus large. Although it's not really doing an awful lot. Oof. I suppose it killed one.
Lighting the path, bringing harmony. Sent by Orion.
I should just move back over here actually and get them to come at us, so I can just get rid of them with my archers.
Stand your ground!
Nature calls us, guided by the wind.
There we go. See you later.
I'll
Ta-da.
enjoy this in Dawn's name. Seizing the position. Sister, kill them.
Okay, that. Well, they didn't see my horses, which is quite nice. Or my stags, I should say. They're not really horses, are they? Oh, these bozos have made an appearance. Alright, what do you want, Dark Riders? You want to take on the stags? Oh. Willing to fight, but I kind of wanted to do more damage to them. That seems a bit silly.
Quickly! Ride! Swift! Now! Swiftly! Wild riders!
Maybe I should have just kept them hidden.
At once!
Alright, that really didn't work out for the stags. That was pretty horrific.
Speed! Quickly! Swiftly! Wild riders! Ride!
Kind of need to get them back over here into
Protectors of the forest!
into some sort of
Sisters of Twilight.
some relative safety.
We accept. Go! Eternal Guard! Wild
See if I can get them out. They might not survive.
The season of war.
at speed! Let's hunt! By further! Orders acknowledged!
Sorry, that was a lot of stuff flying around.
Wild riders!
Yeah, that was pretty disappointing from the Great Stags there. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I used some Dark Riders and charged uphill into AI-controlled Great Stags, their health would just go... Well, my health, I should say, not theirs.
An arrow in the head. Ariel grants clemency.
Oh, that's quite nice.
Itching for fresh battle.
Alright, okay, so Because I didn't use it that turn, then he's pissed off. Okay, well, never mind. I thought I could use it afterwards.
Craving prey.
Obviously not. Alright. Surprisingly, this is actually quite good, making her a bit quicker, a bit more melee defense. You better once we stick Katie on a Great Eagle.
Serene nested
Together as one.
Strength in mercy.
Alright, a bit more money, a bit more experience.
When do we fight? Only when necessary.
Communing with the forest.
Or probably.
Remain calm.
Grab a couple more of these before we go and do this fight. Oh, the Oak of Ages can be upgraded. Sweet. Oh, I didn't realize, because as I said, I haven't played on Mortal Empires with the Sisters of Twilight. I've played on the Vortex campaign, and obviously this isn't on the Vortex campaign because it's not on the Vortex map. I didn't realise we're actually in control of this. Oh, I've got 10 grand, got nothing better to spend it on. I suppose we upgrade this then.
Lord of the
Actually, that makes me think I should really get buddy with these guys. Don't want them attacking the Oak of Ages.
Lord of the Glade. The Deepwood protects its sons and daughters.
Come on, Dave. Not the real Dave. Fake Dave.
Not.
Oh, is Alifanar taking care of those other Dark Elves, I'm presuming? Why are you raiding in my territory, Alifanar? Why are you being such a douchebag?
The shadows come. The day wanes. Are you prepared for dusk?
Now, admittedly, this might piss off Morathi. You strength rank 3?
Morathi. Dreadlord. What?
Strength rank 3?
When Loic dances,
With
so
his
shall
2
I.
settlements. It's pretty amazing. Anyway.
Sisters of Twilight. Battle.
Oh, and a fucking Plague Core Catapult. This is like, how hard were they going to get? Is that only the second turn after they arrived? Imagine I'd waited till they get fully powered up. Right, it's not too bad because it's basically these Plague Claw Catapults that we need to go and deal with like pronto. But everything else isn't particularly that big a deal because we should be able to shred it all with our Glade Guard.
Harmony shall reign.
Oh, and we've ambushed them as well, actually. I didn't even factor that in. So we'll be able to wreck that Plague Claw Catapult straight away.
Battle.
Admittedly, our Great Stags might not survive. Just because they're going to like steam in there, smash up the Plague Claw Catapult and get shot to bits by loads of stuff that can annihilate it, but I'll live with that. Oh, this is pretty good.
Glade Guard!
Now what happens if they turn around and run that way though?
Glade Guard!
And me firing in the tree, like if I'm actually in the forest over here, it's not a bad thing. The problem is I don't want to really split my troops up. Can they fire from there? A little bit out of range, but they'll be able to fire once these guys start to run from us.
Glade Guard!
Sisters of Twilight. Dawn and dusk.
Alright, usually the AI gets a bit discombobulated when you ambush them. They start to all bunch up and then we'll drop our volley of Kronos on them. Should be pretty good. I'll stick you there as well.
Warriors of Ariel!
Alright. at 8 even firing.
Very well.
Sisters of Twilight!
Ready to ride.
War is tragedy! Harmony! Warfare!
Alright, right, these units are getting trounced straight away, which is good. Plague Claws are done.
To war.
Probably ram these clan rats.
Season of war!
I'm going to take that. I think you've got more important things to shoot at.
Get to war. They will die. Armed and ready. Go.
Arahan and Nestra!
Alright, this has worked out pretty well.
Brave riders.
You know what? Come back and ram into these guys. I feel pretty safe about what's going on over there.
At once.
It's good.
Ride them down.
No need to chase them around.
Our bows are yours.
Oh, I do see that. But we've got a plan for that. It's called Flock of Doom. Alright, they've rammed them. I think that's pretty much them done. Alright, sweet. Do they stay on the map? I can't quite remember. Because if they stay on the map, because it's not like a quest battle, I think this. You know, like when you get one of the special quest battles, like once the battle's over, that's it. This army disappears. Whereas I think here they stay on the map, so maybe we should have run them down a little bit more.
Coin before cruelty, eh? The Sisters of Twilight!
I mean, I'm pretty sure they ran over there. Yeah, okay, so they do stay on the map. That's fine. We still should have run them down a bit more. Alright, open branches. Why couldn't it be something better than a Great Eagle? And it's not even cheap as well. 18 winds of magic at the top, at the first level. Seems pretty crazy if you ask me, but
Mile upon us.
yeah, I really should have ran them down more.
It will be a glorious battle.
Never mind.
Blade guard.
Oh, can you set up here? I can do. Oh, that seems like a pretty swell idea, if you ask me. We'll come through the forest.
Sisters of Twilight!
I'll set you up over here. You come round there. Well, can you set up at... No, you can't, unfortunately. It's alright, we've got a million ways to smash them. Put you over here. Alright.
Dust's decree! Taste my bow!
With haste! Like Karnos! Ever ready!
Nah.
Like the wind!
Sisters of Twilight!
We stand ready!
Sisters of Twilight!
Forever loyal! Forever Lauren! Awaiting orders! Captain!
Yours to command. Of course.
I'm not entirely sure how they knew where we were over there, but
Sisters
just going
of
to put it down
Twilight!
to AI knows stuff.
Ready to ride! Hurry! With haste!
Sisters of Twilight!
Protectors of the forest!
Yep, there we go, look. Hit those trees. Or not.
Ever ready! Forever loyal! Very well!
Come on, fire them arrows. Wasn't great, but
Sound the horns! Riders
good
ready!
enough. We've got one more shot out.
Wild riders! Armed and ready!
Why are you running all the way over there? Pretty sure I didn't tell you to get in that weird line.
Left of foot! Orders
Alright,
acknowledged!
you need to get out of there now.
Swiftly!
Dawn and
And
death!
you know what? I don't actually see any benefit in just hanging out over there, so
Wild riders!
let's just fly through and let our dudes wipe the floor. Our archers wipe the floor of these guys.
The forest speaks.
Cavalry! Glade Captain! Death to our enemies! Dauntless Azrael!
Should probably stick all these on guard as well. Not them chasing after stuff.
Hunters!
Sisters of Twilight!
Ever ready!
Arahan and Nestra!
Oh, is that all you're being chased by? Skaven slayers? Alright, that's alright. It should be quite fun.
For our lady!
What have we got over here? Alright, Clanrat Spears, I mean, it still should be fine, but
War is tragedy!
Riders of Otherworldly!
Sisters of Twilight!
actually, no, keep shooting them.
For Apple Lauren!
Alright, you've had enough. Because it's a separate turn, they'll flee again, I think. No, it's the same turn. Actually, I'm not entirely sure, because it wasn't a regular fight, the first one, so... They might flee again?
He has prevailed. Strength in mercy.
No, alright.
Moving with grace.
Finally. This would be pretty good if I used them. I suppose the public order doesn't hurt. Alright, we can get our Glade Captain pretty soon, so we'll build that. We do want this as well for the growth, extra money, and we are trading, believe it or not, so so that's also a bit of extra cash, and we can build this to get our Hawk Riders. Alright, what have we forged this time? This is like the weakest of our items that we've got, so what's the buffed up version? Minus 50 public order in local enemy provinces. It's causing like rebellion straight away. That's quite interesting, actually. I never knew that. I suppose since we don't care, I'm going to get the beefed up version.
For me? I am delighted. Itching. Arahan will not treasure this gift.
Minus 50. That is pretty impressive. So we're building all that stuff. Good.
Bring me battle.
We are pretty much out of money, but we're getting loads of stuff being built, so that's good. We're going to grab Lightning Strike. You are going to grab Earthing, I suppose. Now we're going to go to head towards Ice Rock Gorge.
Fine, I'll go.
And we're going to enter.
Do we have to talk to them, Nestor?
What's going on? Oh, he wants to trade. Oh, okay. I'm very conscious that I don't want to piss off the Dark Elves, so for now I'm going to turn it down, but we'll see.
We should kill them now.
Hello.
Nestra.
Oh. Well, maybe pissing off the Dark Elves doesn't matter. We're going to try and stay neutral as possible. Alright. And I think that's going to be the end of the first episode. So, good solid start. We've pretty much consolidated what we need to consolidate. We're going to grab Ice Rock Gorge. I hope we are, actually.
Awaiting duty.
Because I think Elithanar obviously wants it whilst raiding our territory like an arsehole. We'll be getting the Glade Captain.
Why do we waste time?
Which will be good, increase our movement. And then we'll see where we're at. I don't know what I'm actually going to do next. I suppose a lot of it depends on whether Marathi wants to declare war or, you know, what happens. But I'll probably go and bother these guys. That's probably what I'll do. But anyway, that'll be on the next episode. If you've enjoyed this, if you found it useful, interesting, fun, enjoyable, all those kind of adjectives, please leave a like. If you didn't, don't leave a like. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.